Hello, everyone. This is Tyler Ford, eXp Realty here in Tucson, and welcome to this week's weekly home inventory update, where we log into the MLS and we're taking a look at what's going on in the Tucson housing market in terms of inventory. And in my opinion, inventory is the leading indicator, supply and demand economics 101. And the market is, in my opinion, starting to change. And my prediction is I'm going to make a prediction that May, June of this month is going to be the top of this housing market. And that's just my prediction. There's quite a few signs that are showing that inventory levels are starting to tick up and this market is starting to change. So time will tell. But again, it's a gut feeling that we're at the top of this market, and May, June will be the height of it. So what I'd like to do is we're going to dive into the numbers. We're going to log into the MLS, and then I'm going to go over to an Excel spreadsheet to give you a kind of a visual of what's going on. So I'm going to share my screen right now. But the first thing that I want to start out with, just a little bit of news. Interest rates, there's always a catalyst. In my opinion, there's a lot of things going on right now that are causing this change in the market, one of which is interest rates. So mortgage interest rates were at a low last year around July, August of last year. They were at a low of about 2.5%. Now we're sitting at 5.25. So interest rates are up about 2.75%. So what's happening is people are now being priced out of this market where home affordability is at an all-time high, with appreciation rates doing what they've done, double digits over the last couple of years. With interest rates going up, people from a debt to income standpoint, they can no longer afford the payment. And at the end of the day, when somebody's buying a home, typically what they're doing is they're buying a payment of what they could afford. And then also mortgage companies lend on what is called the debt to income ratio. And with rates being pushed up as high as they are, even though they're still low relative, home values have drastically gone up, which is now pricing people out of this market. Number one, they can't afford the payment. Number two, they're not able to qualify based on debt to income ratio. So things are dramatically starting to change as a result of a lot of different things: inflation, gas prices, affordability has just gotten really, really expensive. But now what I'd like to do is we're going to dive into, I'm logged into the MLS, and we're going to take a look at just Tucson in terms of active listings. And then I'm going to jump over to an Excel spreadsheet. We're going to plug those numbers in and give you a visual of what's going on. But last year into July, August, I felt that the market was starting to change then, and inventory was starting to tick up. And my question was, when the winter visitors came back and the weather in Tucson cooled off, the demand comes back. And typically from about 4th of July into mid to end of September is the slowest time of the Tucson housing market. So inventory levels were starting to go up. And I started doing this, and then temperatures cooled off. Winter visitors came back, inventory levels went to an all-time low. And now we're starting to see them tick back up. So logged into the MLS, if you look right here, we've got Tucson pulled up. So for single family homes in Tucson, right here, there's 669 active listings in the MLS. If we look at townhouses, that number is 65. So townhomes, there's 65 listed in the MLS. If we go to manufactured homes, there are 53 active listings. And then if we go to condos in Tucson listed, there are 55 active listings. I'm going to pull up an Excel spreadsheet right now. We're going to plug in the numbers, and this is going to give you a visual of what is going on. So single family homes, we said 669. Manufactured homes, there's 53. Condos, there were, actually, let me go back. Condos, what were they? Condos, there were 55. And then townhomes, we had a total of 65. So total active listings in the Tucson MLS, 777 between single family homes, manufactured condos, and townhomes. So we are up from the last time that I did this, about 150 active listings. And then if you look at the net change when I first started doing this, we are the net change. We are, let's see here, see if this calculated right. So yeah, the net change 2.7% from week to week in terms of the increase of listings in the MLS. And if we jump over to this chart right here, this is going to give you a good visual of what is going on. So started tracking it, inventory levels started going up, had a gut feeling that things were starting to change, which they were. Winter hit, weather cooled off. And as you can see from the lows of a couple months ago, we are now starting to move up in terms of listings. But the one thing that we're starting to see price reductions more than we've seen before, and homes are actually starting to sit on the market. So what will start to happen is, people are going to try to still get the top end of this market. Buyers are no longer chasing the top end. Sellers are going to have to start to do price reductions, and then days on market will start to go up. So you're going to start to see that. The next thing I want to do is jump over to Zillow just to give you a bigger picture of what's going on, because in the MLS I just had Tucson, but if we jump over to Zillow, it's got Tucson and the surrounding areas, and then it also picks up for sale by owners. So we've got Tucson here, and if you look right here, Tucson and the surrounding areas, there's 1,183 active listings, and then the other that is for sale by owners, and so there's 292 for sale by owners, and we'll now we will plug that into an Excel spreadsheet and give you a visual in terms of the overall Tucson and the surrounding areas. So 1,183. And then these are for sale by owners, which is 292. So a total of 1,475, which is actually the thing that's kind of baffling me is overall listings in Zillows is down, but it's more the for sale by owners. So there's less, and I don't really know, don't have an answer to that. There is less inventory out there based on there's less for sale by owners. And don't really know what to make of that other than still low inventory levels. A lot of times, like in this market, if you sell a home, it's where do you go? And so it could be that still with inventory levels being low, even though they're starting to tick up, there's less people wanting to sell for sale by owners because they just don't have a place to go. The other thing I want to show you is I'm going to show you the median sales price. And over the last couple of years, we've seen double digit appreciation. And since I started tracking this in 2021, we saw a 16.8% appreciation rate on single family homes. And so as of this year, homes are not appreciating at the same rate. So year to date right now, we're at 6.67. We're about halfway through the year. If you were to multiply that by 2, it'd put us at about 12%. But I'm not seeing this. I'm seeing us going flat from here and sideways, and potentially the market softening and pulling back. But again, time will tell. Don't have a crystal ball, can't predict it. It's just my gut prediction in terms of just my overall feeling of this market. And then if you look at the chart here in terms of the median home sales price over the last little over a year and a half, you can see what's gone on. It's been a little nutty. So that's the chart there in terms of what's going on with the Tucson housing market in terms of the sales price. Let me take this off of. Let's see here. So now I'm going to log in. If you've got any questions or comments, or I like to keep it short and sweet, Let's see here. Jay had a question. Do you think interest rates will drive prices, or will the inventory shortage cause home prices to remain the same? Great question. I think it's a combination of both. I think interest rates will start to slow this market down, put the brakes on, and increase inventory, and as a result, potentially pull this market back, and home values could slightly decrease. But again, great question. I wish I had that crystal ball. I don't, but time will tell. Well, it all depends on the Feds and what they're going to be doing here as we between now and the end of the year. Uh, and then another question. So next question, 30-year fix, what are they at? I'll pull this chart up. Let me share my screen. So right now, hold on one sec. Sorry. So 30-year fixed, you're looking at 5.25, and the lows of where we were. So back in July, August of last year, we were at the bottom was at about I wrote it down, 2.5%. So we're up 2.75 from the lows of where they were. Um, so definitely, mortgage payment amounts have almost doubled just based on, what interest rates have done over the last going on 8, 9 months. The other thing to consider, or what you want to do each and every month, TAR puts out the home inventory report. And what I would encourage you to do is go over to Tucson Homes and Lots and then scroll down the page, and you're going to see the monthly market report. And this is where I dive deep into. There's a video though that will pop up, but this is where I dive deep into the numbers. And so if you're wanting to get a deeper dive into what the Tucson housing market is doing, I would head over to Tucson Homes and Lots. And then at the very bottom of this information, you can click right here, and that's going to be pull up a PDF of the housing market report that TAR puts out. So I would encourage you to do that. So let me see here. Let me go back, jump over to here. So that wraps up my update. Each and every month, I like to go in, do a deep dive into the numbers, but it's something that we're keeping a close eye on in terms of home inventory levels. Again, I think it's the leading indicator, and this market is definitely starting to shift. Time will tell. We'll see what happens here. But again, each and every month we do this, and then also take a look at the monthly housing market report, where you can do a deeper dive into what's going on here in the Tucson housing market. So I appreciate you watching, and in the meantime, I'm going to call it a wrap, and make it a great day.